Good morning, everyone. Welcome to rainy downtown Silver Spring. Sorry we didn't bring better weather with us today. Purpose of today's briefing is actually to talk about public safety in downtown Silver Spring specifically, but there will be some pieces that we touch on that are countywide. Too often when we're talking about public safety in downtown Silver Spring, it's after something bad's happened and we're trying to respond to that specific incident. We wanted to have an event where we could talk about all the investments and efforts that have been made by the county executive, the county council, our community to make downtown Silver Spring a safer place to live, work, and play. We want to highlight those positive investments, and while we're going to focus on public safety specifically, it's important that we recognize the other investments that have been made across Silver Spring as well, like the Gene Lynch Urban Park, the United Therapeutics joint redevelopment project with the county, and our Silver Spring Aquatic Center. Before I turn it over to our first speaker, I want to take a moment of personal privilege to thank our law enforcement officers who are here, not just our Montgomery County Police Department, who I have tremendous respect for, but also our partner agencies like the Metro Transit Police Department, Park Police, the Sheriff's Office, as well as our Maryland State Police partners. Without them, we would not be where we are today in terms of improving safety in Silver Spring, and they do a really tremendous job on our behalf all the time. I really want to thank them for that. So, with no further ado, our first speaker for this morning is County Executive Marc Elrich.
Thank you. So I have to say that any discussion about crime and public safety is not a fun occasion to be at. I prefer to do meetings that are really celebratory, but this is one of the tougher issues we're dealing with in the county, and just wanted to talk about it today. We've had many conversations with both residents and businesses, and we want you to know we hear you. We want you to know that we're responding to the incidents, not just in Silver Spring, but in the county, and we know how important it is to make sure that people feel that they're safe. There's a perception of fearfulness and a feeling of unsafety, and when those perceptions are out there, they become real. I want to talk about some of the facts that we're dealing with. According to FBI statistics, violent crime in our nation was 3 times higher per capita 30 years ago. So it's not where it was in the past. So we definitely have not returned to previous days when the situation was much worse. Montgomery County has been and continues to be one of the safest large jurisdictions in our nation, as well as one of the safer ones in the region. And Montgomery County Police Department has one of the best reputations of any large police department in our nation, and I want to emphasize that. I mean, there are departments which put their jurisdictions in the newspapers all the time. Our department doesn't do that, and I want to thank them for the work they do. These facts don't matter, though, if our residents don't actually feel safe. And a part of what makes people feel less safe, frankly, is the severity of some of the crimes. Hijackings, proliferation, and use of guns in illegal activities by groups of people all seem to occur at levels that we haven't previously experienced. And with the rise of social media, descriptions of these crimes have become much more widespread. And sometimes the information is true, and sometimes the information is not true. But more people become aware of these events, and they become aware of these events much more quickly. And the amplifying of all this has a real effect on perception. One of the most urgent pressing issues that we've been working on is the current staffing levels of the police department. The police department staffing levels have been declining for a number of years, and that's also a national problem as well. MCPD is down over 170 officers. They are likely, under current trends, to be down close to 200 officers. And what I hear from officers is that this level of staffing, they're basically going from event to event, and there is not time or space for proactive patrolling. I did a ride-along in Silver Spring a couple of months ago, and that's what I experienced. The officer went from one incident to another incident to another incident. There was no time for anybody to be doing proactive patrolling in our community. Over the past year, we've bolstered our recruitment and retention efforts by increasing salaries and offering signing bonuses. Our recruits are eligible for a $20,000 bonus. We hired a recruitment firm based on their success in a jurisdiction across the river that specializes in law enforcement recruitment and has also helped identify new strategies for attracting well-qualified applicants. We've done most of this work internally in the past, and we're turning to get outside support to help us with this. We're looking at implementing reforms to policies such as education requirements and prior cannabis usage time limits that are more restrictive than neighboring jurisdictions. Right now, actually, I think we've changed it. I think we told the state we were changing it. You cannot use cannabis once you're in the program. Previously, you had to have 3 years clean. That was not a restriction that many other jurisdictions had, and so people who wouldn't qualify here were going to other jurisdictions. Similar, we have a college requirement. We had a requirement of 60 credits. And we're going to change it so that we actually require the courses that people need, but allow them to take it once they've been hired by the police department. So they can do this in the process of being brought into the department and serving in the department rather than having to wait. And I will say that it's a real impediment because for a lot of people, if you're working, getting 60 credits can stretch over more 3 or 4 years, and that's a real impediment to coming here. So if you can get hired in another jurisdiction with your high school diploma, and Montgomery County says, wait till you get 60 credits, we're probably turning away people who otherwise would come here. So that will be changing as well. We're looking to introduce reforms and policies such as I said, the education requirements, but also we're trying to create a simpler path for our cadet programs. We get a lot of cadets, and it's another place where because of the way we've set the structure up between cadet to becoming a police officer, we lose cadets to other jurisdictions. We shouldn't be doing that, and we're looking at what changes we can make to make sure we don't lose people who obviously wanted to work in Montgomery County and are getting trained in Montgomery County. We shouldn't be losing them to other jurisdictions. We've had positive movement on our recruits for our September 24 class. We're running about 20% higher than we were for the same period at our last class that started in January. We're willing to do more classes. We think we're going to be in a kind of continual mode of bringing classes on to make sure as long as we can get recruits and until we can bring this number down where it belongs, we're going to continue to recruit officers. And as we work to bring on a new generation of officers, we also want to return to more community policing strategies. We've done too much, I would say, we're more in a response mode than in a proactive mode. When your officers are constantly going from place to place, there is no driving around the neighborhood or driving around Silver Spring. There's, I'm going from this call, I'm going to the next call. And we need to get our officers into a different mode, but that won't happen until we get our staffing where we need to get the staffing to. We are adding more patrol officers on foot and bicycles to provide better coverage of dense urban areas. We are starting to work to use more technology. And so one of our most famous programs is our drone program. We have drones in downtown Silver Spring and Wheaton. My budget expands them to Germantown and Bethesda. And as money comes available, we'll look at further expansion. The drones have been really useful. They enable us to get a drone on a scene faster than a police officer could ever get there unless the police officer happened to be on the same block at the right time. The odds of that in a place like Silver Spring and Wheaton aren't great. So the drone can get on the scene. Sometimes it can get there in the midst of a crime. Sometimes it can get there, and with the description of somebody who committed the crime, they can actually follow that person. And one of the stories they talk about is being able to follow somebody to a bus, and for the police to be able to intercept that bus at one of its stops and take the person who was the suspect into custody, and that never would have happened without the drone. And so that's an important thing that we've added to this. We've added more cameras in our garages, more to come, and we've expanded the use of license plate readers and mobile camera platforms. You see stationary cameras in Silver Spring. We never had them before. The license plate readers that are going to be in the police vehicles automatically trigger hits when they hit a license plate, and if it comes up as somebody who's wanted for a crime or who's stolen a car, it automatically gives the police an alert that they should be taking care of this person. And I'm just very excited about the use of technology that we're moving toward, and I think that those things are going to be real beneficial to us. Governor Moore came and visited. He did a tour. He chose the public safety tour in Montgomery County. His other secretaries went to other things, but he wanted to see the public safety tour. And we took him up to see the actual drone program. And I was very, glad that he saw it because, state's a big factor in funding, and we hope that the state, if they realize this is something that other jurisdictions could be doing, that the state will help fund it. And if they're helping funding everybody else, they can help fund us as well. So I'd say that, I think we've gotten ourselves in a better place, but this problem is not over. What we want to do is be able to deter crime and solve crime by creating a kind of infrastructure that if you come into Silver Spring and you think you're going to commit a crime, you're going to be aware that you're under camera surveillance, that we've got drones that can respond quickly, and so people think twice about doing something here. And it's anybody who's been around Montgomery County long enough knows that's a change in approach to what we're doing, but it's a necessary change in approach. An owner or a tenant of property that is used as a residence or business can apply for a grant for a security camera for your home, and up to, I think it's 5 security cameras for businesses. So if businesses want additional protection, they can get these cameras and we help pay for them. And the county is also looking at other service changes to lessen the burden on police responses. One of them is we're expanding our MCAT teams, which are the mental health teams. We have too many police officers tied up doing things that are really mental health work. And the people who are doing what are crimes aren't doing high-level crimes or crimes that require a police officer. And most of these people require mental health support. And we need to basically be able to respond to people with the appropriate team. But we also need to enhance the mental health programs in the county. And this is a big issue at the state. There's been a lot made of some of the changes and reforms to state law a year ago. And one of the problems, I agreed with the intention of trying to break the school-to-prison pipeline. I will say that if you arrest a young person, young adult, and they get a criminal record, you make it very hard for them to ever get employment or even rent an apartment. And there is no long-term benefit to us from having people who can't work and can't find a place to live. It's a prescription for all the things that we don't want to happen. It's a prescription that ensures that they will happen. So we need other facilities, and when you are turning kids back to parents who say, I can't control my kid, it's unlikely that the behaviors are going to change, and we need to have a facility that is not a criminal facility but can provide inpatient support to the children we're trying to help. These are kids who are deeply in trouble. They're often depressed. They certainly don't see a way forward in life, and either punishing them with a jail sentence or returning them where they can't get the support they need, neither one of those are going to solve the problem. And if we really want to tackle this, we have to solve it. So we're expanding the number of mobile crisis units. We'll be at, I think, 5 at the end of this program, and we'll be hopefully expanding beyond that. And I mentioned the treatment center. We actually have a facility in Montgomery County that we've asked the state to look at. It's a state facility. It was a former school. It's been vacant for a little while now, and we've asked them to consider putting the treatment facility over there. Finally, I'll just say that, we've had 1 confirmed homicide in the first quarter of this year. We averaged 7 per quarter over the last 3 years. Is it victory? Not necessarily. Is it an improvement? In this moment, it's an improvement. And if these numbers hold, then we'll say something more about it. But I think it's important to note that at least we've broken the trend that we've had over the last 3 years. And there's been a significant reduction in carjackings. We've gone from 22 for the same period last year down to 10. There's no one tool that's going to fix all this. But we want people to know that we're taking this seriously, and we're approaching it both on the police side and the social service side to make sure that we can help people before they get in trouble. We can help people who are in trouble figure out a different path forward. And most importantly, we're making sure that whatever we do, we're making sure the residents of this county are as safe as we can possibly make them. So I will now turn this over to, oh, you're going to do it. Okay. Thank you.
Next up, we have Council Vice President and District Council Member Kate Stewart.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. Before I begin my remarks today, as many people know, the county executive and I just returned from Taiwan on an economic development trip and going to a sustainability conference. And I just want to take a moment for the people of Taiwan, since they've just experienced an earthquake. If we could just take a moment. Thank you. Again, I'm Kate Stewart. I'm the Montgomery County Council Vice President and the District 4 representative representing this area. I want to thank all of you for coming today together for this very important event. Like many communities across the DMV area and our region, we are facing challenges here in Silver Spring. We have seen a rise in certain crimes in our community, and that causes all of us concern. Today, we are joining law enforcement, the county executive, my colleagues on the county council, businesses, and community members to demonstrate our commitment to keeping Silver Spring a place for everyone, for families, for young people, for older people, businesses, and visitors. Silver Spring is a place where we want to make sure people feel and are safe and can thrive. And I'm not just here as the District 4 council member or the vice president on the council. I'm here as someone who lives, works, and plays right here in our downtown Silver Spring area and has done so for nearly 3 decades. I have raised my 2 children here who graduated from Blair High School. They grew up right here, first watching movies when this was a green space, and then learning how to ice skate, going to the movies. As they got older, going to the film more, enjoying all our festivals, and celebrating birthdays and other special occasions. I also stand before you today as someone whose family has been influenced and impacted by gun violence in our community. And I stand before you because I know many people in our community want to make sure that Silver Spring continues to be a place where all of us feel safe and can enjoy all that we have here. Just over a year ago, then Council President Evan Glass and I convened a meeting with members of the community to really listen to their concerns and what are the issues that they feel we are facing here in the community. We also did a safety walk with our police department to show what was being put into place, and again, to also listen to people about what they are most concerned about. Since then, we have been very busy working in coordination with our police department, our businesses, and residents to put many things in place. But we know that work is not done. It is continuous, because our commitment to this area is one that continues. But as Dr. Stoddard said, we thought it was very important to take a pause today to update people on the efforts that we were putting in place here in downtown Silver Spring to make sure you know that we are hearing the businesses, we are hearing the residents, and we are committed to this area. So I know we're going to go more in depth in a moment, but I want to highlight a few things that we are doing here. Yesterday on the County Council, we passed a bill that will create parity across the board for our late night establishments. So if you are an establishment that serves alcohol or serves hookah, you will be closing at 2 a.m. during the week or 3 a.m. on the weekend. We also, this is in tandem with the legislation we passed last year and is now going into place with our late night safety plans, to ensure that overnight businesses that do have serious incidents have a safety plan in place before they are continued to operate. Both of these things go hand in hand so that when people come here to enjoy our late night, they get home safely. We've also funded more cameras in our garages. And thanks to Councilmember Glass, the camera rebate program has been expanded for residents and businesses. As the county executive mentioned, and I'm sure we will hear more about, we have our drone program here in downtown Silver Spring, as in other areas of the county. And we have joined in partnership with the Greater Silver Spring Chamber of Commerce to support Silver Spring Safety Alliance. And I would be amiss if I did not mention the fact that we continue to have our red shirts, our ambassadors here in our downtown Silver Spring area to assist our residents, and that we have now dedicated police resources to help our shelters who help our unhoused and are dedicated to helping our unhoused community here in downtown Silver Spring. I also want to note the additional police resources that have been put here in downtown Silver Spring, and to thank the men and women, the rank and file, and our police officers for the work that they are doing every day. We are seeing some encouraging results because of their dedication here in downtown Silver Spring. Addressing the issues we are facing will require everyone to continue to take part in solutions. Leadership from our neighboring jurisdictions, our police, and our neighbors. In the short term, we need to act to solve these crimes, and we need to look at the long-term ways that we are preventing crimes in the future. That includes pushing for gun safety laws at the state and federal levels, increasing mental health services, and continuing and expanding our programs for young people, which are things that we are doing in the county. I want to highlight two things most recently you may not have heard of. But recently we appropriated $3 million for our Department of Health and Human Services to use opioid settlement funds to open an inpatient and residential treatment facility for youth 21 and under, and focusing on substance use disorder services. And I'm glad to see our Councilmember Natali Fani-Gonzalez join us today because she's been a real champion on this issue. Additionally, we've appropriated over $90,000, again, to our Department of Health and Human Services for a youth safety initiative that will be a prevention and response strategy that aims to comprehensively address the diverse challenges facing our youth here in Montgomery County. We did this and we continue to listen to members of our community. And I want to say, even though we are facing many challenges, there are a lot of exciting things happening here in downtown Silver Spring that I want to lift up. We have international businesses who are choosing to come to downtown Silver Spring and open. We have Uniqlo and Nike. But it's not just those businesses. It is the folks who have been here for years who are deciding to invest more and expand. And so we have Citizens in Culture. We have the Breakfast Club. We have more coffee shops because if you need to be caffeinated, you need to come to downtown Silver Spring. We have the Black Lion Cafe, and a Montgomery County favorite has just opened here in downtown Silver Spring. Java Nation's newest location is here. And we have more coming. We have a new Tex-Mex grill. We have Roaming Rooster. Punta Cana Tropical Grill is opening. We have two new food halls opening. As the county executive said, we have United Therapeutics doing a major expansion. And we cannot forget the aquatic center that just opened. Because not only does that provide recreation, but it provides more spaces for our young people and others in our community to gather, to play, to thrive. And this summer, we have a child care center opening where the former Silver Spring Library was, to provide bilingual early childhood education here in downtown Silver Spring. And we can't forget those businesses that have been here for many, many years. Our coffee shops, our entertainment venues like the Fillmore and AFI. As you can tell, I can go on all day about both our challenges and those things that are exciting about downtown Silver Spring. But I'll end now and say thank you to each and every one of you who have come today. Because I know we have challenges, but I am also very hopeful. Hopeful because we have a community that consists of residents, businesses, our local government, our law enforcement, our nonprofits, who are dedicated to this community and to seeing it thrive. So thank you.
All right, next up is Council President Andrew Friedson.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. Thank you to Vice President Stewart. Thank you to the County Executive, to Chief Jones, to everybody who is here today. I'm just really pleased to be here, recognizing that we face challenges and that public safety is a priority. But we're here today because public safety is a team effort. It requires our public safety professionals, it requires our public servants, many of whom work in this building. It requires partnership with our local businesses and local residents, all of whom are here together to make a strong statement that we are committed to Silver Spring. We understand the importance of Silver Spring. Montgomery County cannot meet its economic potential, cannot meet its full potential unless Silver Spring meets its full economic and its full potential. And we recognize that there is no greater responsibility in government than keeping our community safe. And unless and until every person in our community, unless and until every business in our community feels safe and is safe, then we have a lot of work to do. And we're here to acknowledge that we have work to do. There are challenges here, like there are in many communities. But I am confident that working together in partnership with our public safety professionals, with our business community, with our local residents, that we can meet the challenges, and that there are so many great things that exist in Silver Spring, so many positive aspects of why Silver Spring continues to be a destination where people want to be, people want to live, people want to locate. And if we can get the public safety piece right, everything else is here. All the other ingredients are here in Silver Spring to be the world-class destination that we know it is, to be one of the top places anywhere in the region where young people and old people and everywhere in between, where businesses and employees want to locate, want to be, want to invest. So that's why we're here, to commit to that, to recommit to that, to recognize that we have made significant progress in many of the programs that we're doing, but we have work to do, and we have work to do in collaboration and coordination with each other. I want to thank our public safety professionals who are working harder than ever to meet new and emerging challenges. We are trying to support them in every way that we can, but we need to work more and more together, and we need to work closer with our business community. These programs like the grant programs, like the Drone as First Responder program, they only work when there's coordination with the community. They only work when there's communication and coordination with our local businesses. So thank you for your investment and your dedication to Silver Spring. We're here as a county government, we're here as a community to stand together, to address these challenges head on, to acknowledge them for the seriousness that they have, to recognize that each and every day, these aren't just feelings that residents have. It's not just a perception that people have. It's a reality. It's the day-to-day existence for our residents and our businesses. And we see you, we hear you, we acknowledge you, and we're here to work together to address the challenges that we face, but also to make sure that we recognize the amazing things that are happening in Silver Spring. There are few places anywhere on earth that have as much opportunity, as much potential as downtown Silver Spring does. And our job is to work together to make sure that we are meeting that potential, that we are providing the opportunities. Public safety is at the foundation for everything else that we do in government. Every other program, every other priority, every public facility that we open, none of it works, and none of it really matters unless we can keep our community safe, unless people can do and live their everyday lives in a way that they feel safe. So thank you for being here. Thank you for committing to Silver Spring. And thank you for everything that you do for our county and for our region.
Okay, next up is at-large council member Evan Glass.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stoddard. I appreciate being here with all of my colleagues in government, with law enforcement, with our business leaders, and our residents. I have lived in the downtown Silver Spring area for more than 25 years. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. I talk to people every day when walking my dogs or going into one of the many coffee shops, and I know that there are concerns. We've all moved here and are working here because Silver Spring is a wonderful place. It's one of the most diverse communities in the country, and yeah, we have some challenges, and that is what we're working on. It's the reason why Council Vice President Stewart and I last year held a summit, and there were more than 300 people who came on a weekend afternoon to share their thoughts and concerns. And our message is we hear you and we're taking action. And it is a multi-pronged approach, both with laws and regulations, with funding and support and personnel, but we're working on it. And the data is showing that we are making strides. There's more that we can do. There's more we have to do to ensure that everybody is safe and feels safe when they're visiting, living, and working in downtown Silver Spring. A decade ago, I served on the Montgomery County Nighttime Economy Task Force. We were tasked with figuring out how to jumpstart our nightlife, particularly in Silver Spring, and I think we succeeded in jumpstarting our nightlife. And now we're trying to figure out how to make it balanced with all of the other needs that exist. And the laws that have recently been passed are an effort to ensure that everybody is safe when they are enjoying our downtown Silver Spring community. And the team that is here today are coordinating our efforts and working collectively to ensure that Silver Spring remains a wonderful place to live, work, and play. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have District 6 Councilmember Natali Fani-Gonzalez.
Good morning. A couple of days ago, I received an email from Police Officer Yamada, who's standing right there, telling me about this latest effort using the drone program to capture someone who was not being a good actor in our community. But the beautiful thing is that not only we use technology to make sure that we apprehended this person, but that our police officer also worked with the Park Police, which I think they're here too. The Park Police officer, raise your hand. Who's from Parks Police? There you go. No, you can stand over there. I can barely see you there. So one of the beautiful things that we have in Montgomery County is the collaboration that we have. You know, it's one government, it's one county that is working together to make sure that our streets are safe, that people can go out and shop, that we have a strong economic development, because in order for businesses to open, people need to feel safe. For employees to come to the office, for people to come shop, they need to feel safe. So this is part of that movement, and I thank every single member of the police department and also our county executive and county council members to really push policies that will respect and protect every person in this county. Thank you so much for your leadership council, Vice President Kate Stewart, for putting us all together, because this event is also to highlight the great things Montgomery County is doing to be upfront in the state, really, with efforts to ensure that we're not just doing great in terms of economic growth, but also doing great in terms of public safety, because they go hand by hand. So thank you so much.
Okay, and next up, one of my good friends and one of the people I most enjoy working with, Montgomery County Police Department Chief Marcus Jones.
Good morning, and thank you, Earl. Good morning to everyone. So overall, crime, and I really want to thank the county executive first before I get into the crime statistics. I want to thank the county executive and council vice president for really allowing us to be able to have this conversation today. And I also want to thank the Council President Friedson, as well as the council members, Glass and Fani-Gonzalez, for their presence here and support. Because the one thing I really want to stress about is to talk about the crime and how residents are feeling and how they've shared those specific feelings with us. And we take that to heart, because this is what we do. This is what we really strive to do in order to make Montgomery County a safe place, and as important, the downtown Silver Spring area a safe place to live, work, as well as enjoy and socialize. But I want to give some statistics, and then I want to talk about what we are doing to address some of those concerns, because no matter what, when people, as has been stated here so eloquently today, is that when people don't feel safe, regardless of what the statistics say, that's a reality. People's perception is reality. And so we want to, again, to be able to address some of those concerns that everyone has an understanding about what we are doing in law enforcement in order to help to eradicate some of those fears. Overall, crime has increased by 10% in the county in 2023 compared to previous year in 2022. Crimes against persons increased by 9%, and crimes against property increased by 13%. In 2023, all districts across the county accounted for 23% let me strike that. The 3rd district accounted for 23% of all crimes in the county. More specifically, in this sector is known as the George sector in downtown Silver Spring. This area accounted for 9% of the crimes in all of the county. But unfortunately, the 3rd district did have a higher crime rate than the other 5 districts in 2023. However, we are committed to deploy our limited resources based on these crime statistics and crime trends. We have accomplished a lot, especially through our multiple partnerships with not only other law enforcement agencies, but also with our valuable partnership in government and most importantly in the community. Residents, businesses, and other organizations have been tremendous partners in order to help us to eradicate some of these issues, but again, there is more work to do. And these are the things that we are doing and that we have established. We partner with the Silver Spring Safety Alliance in order to really come up with more concrete plans in order to address issues. We have, again, as the county executive noted, automated license plate readers that we have one that's fixed in downtown Silver Spring, but we also have many license plate readers that are on our police vehicles that give our officers more tools and resources to address some issues that we have in regards to crime. I've directed patrol of officers based on crime data. We're dealing with evidence-based policing. This is not just because we put people in a certain area just because. We are looking at the statistics, we are looking at the issues, and we are putting our resources there. We're adding more foot patrols, we're adding more bike patrols to make sure that we're addressing this. In the 3rd district, I'm proud to say the leadership of the 3rd district under the leadership of Commander McBain has established an Adopt a Neighborhood program where his officers are assigned to certain neighborhoods that they are focusing on better community policing. They're working in residential neighborhoods. We're getting data that how many times the officers are actually engaging with our community members, but also in our shopping centers that we've had specifically issues with that provides more visibility. Our specialized units are being regularly deployed in downtown Silver Spring to address issues. Our Central Traffic Unit, our Special Operations Division as an example of those additional resources. And again, as we talked about, the drone is our first responder. What you see here is an example. This is the drone that, one of our drones that are placed here in the downtown Silver Spring area that we launch on days that we can fly. But I can tell you that has been very valuable to this point. We have responded to 454 calls in a short period of time that the drone has been, we've had this program in place. And of those 454 times that we've actually deployed it, we've noticed, again, a shorter response time, but we've also found that in 53 of those particular incidents, we didn't need to deploy an officer because the drone was able to get there. We saw on video there was no need for police service and therefore allowed officers to be not tied up on a call for unnecessary reasons. That's been very valuable to us. I want to thank my partners, my other law enforcement partners and leaders that are here today, Sheriff Wee from the Sheriff's Department and my other representatives from Maryland State Police, Metro Transit Police, and Maryland National Capital Park Police. This is a all-hands-on-deck effort when we talk about addressing issues, when we talk about things such as car rallies. There are many car rallies that potentially could occur that you all never hear about because we have already put into plan high visibility patrols that have deterred these individuals and they've gone elsewhere in the Washington metropolitan region and not entered into Montgomery County. That is what I deem a success. It's not on social media. It's not being broadcast by any media network, but the reality is that's a success because you never hear about it. And so those are the wins that we look at. When we talk about crime too, and as the county executive noted, about our violent crimes in some cases going down, such as carjackings where we're not having the numbers that we've had in the past, we again are working towards making that trend to continuously go down. The one crime that I know that is going up tremendously and has been going up the last couple of years have been auto theft. Auto thefts are really at an all-time high. And the two vehicles models that are makes that are most taken in these types of thefts are Kias and Hyundai. And so a few weeks ago, the leadership of our police department put together a meeting with the corporate office of Kia and Hyundai, and we are establishing a community event that will occur at our public safety headquarters the weekend of May 10th through May 12th. And we're going to have the representatives from Kia and Hyundai be on our property and basically be there for the public who have these vehicles that can bring them in for software updates in order to prevent crimes, as well as other anti-theft tools that will be given to them on that particular day. This, again, is a partnership in order to work on issues that are dealing with our crime trends. So, again, I want to stress to you all that Montgomery County Police and all of my other law enforcement partners cannot do this alone. It does take a community effort. And this is where we stand in solidarity today to stress just that. It requires all of us, the business community, which has been fabulous here in downtown Silver Spring, and the residents. And the one reason why it's been fabulous is because these people care. They care about where they are. And we care for them as much as in order to create and maintain a safe environment so that people can enjoy their lives on a daily basis in all phases here in Montgomery County. So again, thank you all for the time. And again, we are very, very appreciative of the opportunity to share this data. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Jones. And for the May event, that's free of charge to residents,
Free of
correct?
charge to all
That's important to get out there.
Exactly right.
So thank you. Next up is the President and CEO of the Greater Silver Spring Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Stephanie Helsing.
Good morning. Thank you, County Executive Elrich and Vice President Stewart, for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Stephanie Helsing, and I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Silver Spring Chamber of Commerce. We represent over 300 employers, mostly small and minority-owned businesses in the Greater Silver Spring area and in Montgomery County. The Chamber has always been about making Silver Spring a thriving business community, a place where people want to live, work, and come to enjoy what so many of us love about Silver Spring: our wonderful arts and entertainment venues, our breweries, our diverse restaurants, and our outdoor gathering spaces. This week, I celebrated my first year in this role, and it's important to mention that not because I don't like to celebrate, I actually do, but to highlight the long-term engagement that this business community has had with stakeholders who make Silver Spring, Silver Spring. In 2021, then Chamber President and CEO Jane Rediker facilitated a public safety summit with MCPD and other stakeholders in Silver Spring. And in May of last year, I was able to see this come to fruition with a partnership that was created between MCPD and the Chamber called the Silver Spring Safety Alliance. This neighbors looking out for neighbors and businesses looking out for businesses concept was created as another tool to actively reduce and prevent crime, and it's an enhancement to what is already being done, and you've heard a lot about what is happening, on the ground by MCPD, the Urban District, and the Regional Center. It is the business community letting the greater community know that we are aware of your concerns and we are doing everything in our power to ensure the safety and security of this entire community. The Chamber has also been proud to support a number of initiatives that have been introduced both at the state level, like the actionable penalties to decrease street meetups and car rallies, and the reevaluation of prior youth criminal justice reform policies. But more importantly, at the county level, the Chamber has been able to support a number of initiatives that will help create a safer environment, not only for Silver Spring, but for the entire county. This includes, but isn't limited to, the Late Night Safety Plan bill that was passed last year and will go into effect shortly, the Late Night Establishment Hours of Operation bill, which just made its way out of committee yesterday, and will regulate hookah lounges, smoke shops, and vape shops to normalize with our restaurant and bar industries. And lastly, the extremely successful MCPD drone as first responder pilot program that began in Silver Spring last November and has wielded high success. These are just a few of the ways the Chamber itself is involved in ensuring the safety and security of the community that we support. We know that assuring a safe and welcoming environment for everyone is the key to a thriving business community, a thriving Silver Spring, and a thriving Montgomery County. Safe for all those who work here, who live here, and who come here to enjoy the wonderful amenities that we have to offer, thus allowing Silver Spring to take its rightful place as a business and residential hub and economic engine of Montgomery County. The Chamber looks forward to continuing to partner with the county, the Urban District, and MCPD on making Silver Spring what we know it can be. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Okay, next up is the chair of the Ethio-American Chamber of Commerce and the Ethiopian Community Center of Maryland, Mr. Elias Woldu.
First, I want to thank you, the county executive and the council vice president, Kit, for presiding this forum. And I want to also thank the Office of Public Information doing the same. And I want to thank you also, Chief Jones, with his teams, and all the council members that are here. So my name is Elias Woldu. I'm representing today the Ethio-American Chamber of Commerce members in the county and the community at large, the business community at large here in Montgomery County. Well, as a business person, we all are, it's a privilege actually live, work, and build our business in Montgomery County, a place that is not only diverse and innovative, but also has a strong sense of community. However, the recent events have cast some kind of a shadow on our collective peace and security. This issue calls for an immediate attention and collaborative action. First, we must acknowledge the timeless efforts of our local law enforcement agencies who work day and night to ensure our safety. Our police force, in their commitment to protect and serve, are an essential part of our community. Security is not just a matter of the police. It is a shared responsibility. It requires cooperative partnership between law enforcement and the community at large. As a member of the Ethio-American Chamber of Commerce, we are deeply invested in fostering a safe environment that allows our business to thrive. We strongly believe that a prosperous community is a safe community. Therefore, we are committed to working closely with local law enforcement agencies to ensure the safety and well-being of all residents. We recommended in the past several proactive measures that can be taken to curb any kind of disruption for businesses and the safety of our community. We also, the business in our county, particularly those that operates late night, should invest in adequate security measures such as surveillance cameras, alarm systems, and well-lit premises. These measures not only deter potential criminals, but also aid law enforcement in their investigation. Finally, we proposed hosting a regular community police forum. These forums will provide an opportunity for residents and businesses to voice their concerns, share information, and build a stronger relationship with law enforcement officers. Finally, public safety is a shared responsibility, and it is only by working together that we can create a safe and prosperous Montgomery County. We, the members of the Ethio-American Chamber of Commerce, stand ready to do our part in this endeavor. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, and our final speaker for this morning is the Silver Spring resident, Miss Vicki Warren.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. My name is Vicki Warren, and I am a longtime resident of Silver Spring. In January of 1985, my husband and I found a house just on the edge of the downtown that was within walking distance to the Metro and Sligo Creek Park. The only thing that made us happier was that it was a house we could actually afford. So we bought it, and 38 years later, we're still in that same house. We've chosen to stay. We love our neighborhood community and walkable access to amenities like the movie theaters and the restaurants. But crime here is nothing new. In 2008, I was president of a youth media organization when 3 local teens were shot on a ride-on bus. One of them, Ty Lamb, was a 14-year-old freshman at Blair High School, and he died. The young people in the organization that I was part of joined together with students at Blair, and they formed an organization called Mixed Unity to advocate for peace in Silver Spring. For a time, they were successful. In the ensuing years, the crime rate and overall crime rate in downtown Silver Spring has ebbed and flowed. But today, the proliferation of guns has brought us to a place where bold action is necessary, and from what you've heard, is being taken. I commend our leaders, our business leaders, our police, and our elected leaders for working together on what you've heard this morning is a multifaceted approach to doing something about the crime here in Silver Spring. But we as residents also have a responsibility. Joe Reynolds was a longtime member of Tacoma Park Presbyterian Church. That's my church community. And when he was killed in my very own neighborhood, I felt like I had to do something. So I started listening to past Safe Silver Spring meetings. They're on YouTube, and Commander McBain comes and he talks, and residents talk, and you learn a lot. I commend Commander McBain for his patience and his candor in these meetings. I was shocked sometimes at how much he was willing to share. And so since then, I have attended the meetings either virtually in real time, or I continue to listen to them online. Because I believe as residents, we need to play a vital role. Our participation in solving the crime problem is part of the equation, whether it's reporting what we see in our neighborhoods or what's happening, or frequenting the local businesses to keep the downtown alive, or supporting local organizations that provide opportunities to the young people or the people on the street that need help. This is all of our responsibility. We are in this together, the government leaders, the police, the business community, and residents. The knowledge and the leadership are there and here to do something about the problem that we have with crime in Silver Spring. My 95-year-old mother has a saying, whatever it takes, and I echo her words this morning in terms of what we can do about eradicating the violence in downtown Silver Spring and making it a place where people do feel safe and where they are able to enjoy all that the downtown has to offer. Thank you very much.
Okay, I want to thank the members of the media for being here. I do want to reiterate what you've heard from many of our speakers, which is this is not a victory lap, this is not an endpoint, this is an update. We expect that there's going to be more changes that need to occur in downtown Silver Spring to make it safer. We expect that the people behind me and the people throughout this community are going to be part of that solution and moving us forward.